Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome. It is Sunday night, which means it is now time for the Weekly Dig. For those new to the stream, this is a weekly show where we talk about anime old and new. My name is Brent. These are my fabulous co-hosts, John.
Konnichiwa, everyone. Konbanwa.
And Steve.
Hello, hello.
And I think everything's working, strangely enough, so stay tuned for some technical difficulties later on. And we are here tonight to talk about Urda, the Third Reich. And we're going to see where we end up in terms of YouTube statistics and this getting downvoted because it is about Nazis. Although, I mean, the most video game Nazis ever.
Yeah. It's like Castle Wolf threw up a show.
Right.
So this is a 2002 all CGI anime sort of short films, a series of 5 shorts edited together into a half-hour little mini movie, and so I guess that's probably the first thing to mention is that 2002 CGI. Yeah, it's there's not a lot to work with here, and that is definitely something that is very clear as we get into the thing. Very harsh lighting. Cell shading was not really a thing yet in a robust way, I will say, as we can start here, because we were talking about this earlier, I think, given the limitations of the time, also giving it, and it should be pointed out, this was animated entirely by one man. So directed, modeled, animated entirely by one person. So given all those things, I hesitate to call it impressive on any objective level, in the sense that oh my gosh, amazing. But good on him, I think is one of the things we said. What were your sort of general reactions to the animation in general?
Laughing a lot. And look, we watch anime, so there is a suspension of disbelief that has to occur.
Yeah.
This tested that mightily.
Yes.
Mightily. And but to your point, if you were a art student at Micah here, Baltimore, or something like that, and this was a class project that you did, and you did this by yourself, and you were able to put this together, good on you. Yeah. Good on you. That's hard work. That's you're making an effort. Mm-hmm. The thing that kind of makes it, I don't want to say inexcusable, but I'm going to use inexcusable, is the fact that it has a budget. And it has some, as we found out, people behind it. And so it's kind of one of those things where it's just even with the technology at the time of the CGI, it was kind of could we have done just a few tweaks, just a few.
You're saying you have notes, Steve?
I have notes. Yes. The non-director, non-talented drawing person has notes on the animation of this.
I also applaud the one person show to make this happen. It reminded me ever so vaguely of my late father-in-law. Had a program that he got on his computer. It was probably around this time that could do. It would make a little character, and then you could make it move and do things. So it reminded me kind of sort of that, the some of the simplicity of the way that the motion was. I like some of the fighting action, but I think that is just purely played at 5 times speed. So I'm sure it's not, it's probably the really laborious choreography there going on, and then you just speed it up. We can't really tell what's going on. Okay. Yeah. Certainly, yes, I could also provide some notes, but I was very happy with the mechanical designs. I was very happy with the fact that a lot of the machinery that's in the shorts is appropriate in design and style to the era. Maybe not the speed functions of them or the gravity-defying elements, but suspension of disbelief again.
Yeah. It's always interesting to me to see an anime that seem kind of inspired by almost like Hollywood action movies, where it's not trying. This actually reminded me a little bit of Hellboy, where it's like this is kind of fantasy Nazis, basically, right? Like the technology is kind of fantasy technology, where it's like, yeah, these are technically things that existed, but we're not really taking it. We are then adding a level of kind of absurdity to the actual action and what happens and so forth and so on.
Yes, like the screenshot you've got, right. The Kettenkrad goes maybe like 20. Like maybe. And in this, you're right, it's like complete fantasy. The thing's going like 90 miles an hour. Like it doesn't do that. Like, what do you do? Yeah. So I can certainly appreciate Hellboy, I think it's that's a good point. Where it's like it's that fantasy element to a real group of people that did happen in time. So
it was almost as if, now that you guys are talking about this, kind of occurred to me just now, almost as if like the original intent was to make it as serials, because they were done in sections, much like the old like the movies back in the day, where you walked in and you saw the cartoon, you saw an action serial, and then you saw whatever the movie it was that you were there to see. So I kind of like to think of it in that direction.
That's actually a really good point. I think that is kind of almost really the mood too, where it's like you're getting this little snippet of an overall story in each of these, and it's why I think it's a little rough watching it this way, because it was produced as 5 or 6 5-minute episodes, and so I can, as an ONA, so I can imagine if this was posted to a guy's website, the first episode, and then you waited 3 months for the next one, and you got the next little bit. It's a very different experience than just, okay, we're going to mainline all these things and compare them all together. It's like, you're not doing yourselves any favor with this presentation method, unfortunately. But yeah, actually, it's an interesting point, John, in the chat. Kind of early Ruby is not a bad way of looking at it.
Okay,
technologically and artistically, but yeah, it's tough. Like, you almost have to go in with 0 expectations and then be pleasantly surprised, as opposed to going with any expectations at all. Because it's like, okay, it could be worse, I guess. And then we get crazy actions. Actually, John, you pointed out an interesting thing about the fight sequences. You can tell the director storyboarded out and thought through the action sequences.
Yes.
Because of how you see people grabbing weapons, and a weapon gets tossed out. But unfortunately, the low frame rate and the just general kind of confusion of it make it just a little hard to follow.
Yeah. And some of the sound effects, again, notes. It's just notes
yeah,
thing.
you're absolutely right.
Like some of the sound effects of the ching conk,
sound was clearly not this person's strong suit.
Yeah.
And there's not.
Yes, when the reconverted warp speed capable space shuttle launched off, and it was like pop 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 pop, and you're just like, oh, a little underwhelmed.
Yeah, but again, as a one-person effort, you did good grabbing, especially for its time period. Trying to grab the sound bites to be able to throw into something. It's I guess we should probably be grateful it's not okay, the sound of a gunshot's going to be me taking a wooden ruler and snapping it on a desk. Pap! There you go. That's a gunshot. You're okay, so you made some effort there. So I applaud that. Yeah.
Well, and like that sequence with everything going on is weirdly quiet, where you're on top of the train and you hear basically a faint wind sound, and then occasional, and then you'll hear the gunshots, but like there's nothing in the sense of like what would you call it? Just like just the general environment. Immersive sound. Yeah, like there's it's almost like a really early talkie where it's like you know we have these sounds but not all the sounds, which is a little off-putting. Yeah, and very no ambient sound, very over the top. I think would be the term. Now we listened to it in English, which may not have been the right choice. This was weird though because we noted like most of the voice actors here have done really solid work in other anime, but not so much here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, everybody has a bad day. The cast, who was feeling not really engaged in this, perhaps. I don't know.
Well, perhaps they just showed up and they said, "This is rent is due." Okay.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
That is always a chance. And the thing I had mentioned when we were watching it, but I didn't think to go look at it, is like the Final Fantasy films. I remember seeing them renting one of them at Blockbuster. And it's like, so I don't know what time period this is, but I remember watching one of those Final Fantasy films. And I'm like, this is amazing, CGI. It's incredible. It's like, I have no idea like where this movie is in time with any of those films I saw to be like, are you trying to get to like Final Fantasy level, or is this just absolutely here is a studio and a budget and here's this guy?
Yeah.
Huh. So I think I mentioned this a long time ago, but and as we were talking about earlier and now talking about the quality of the CGI of the technology and all that, it reminded me of the Golgo 13 movie, and which showcased. I don't mean just says, "Oh, and we have some computer graphics going on in here." They're like, "No, we have computer animation going on in this anime." And you go through the movie, and there's like literally a 30-second bit of a white background of what appears to be a block building like Minecraft, and like a Minecraft helicopter. Okay. Like, it's like everything's modular. And, it's just like, like the rotators are like actually rods, not connected to the circle. And you know what I mean? Yeah. So it's very, very, and this was 90 whatever. And it just did not fit into the movie at all. And, with the animation, it was a really weird jump cut of like, go, I'm going to have to shoot down the helicopter. And it goes to the helicopter scene. And you're just like, what? And then 30 seconds later, it cuts back to this. So, when you kind of compare that, because this was probably made not that many years later than this Golgo movie. So, you kind of got to give it a little bit of respect insofar like where the technology was for this.
Yeah. I totally agree. And there's a certain So, Final Fantasy: The Spirits Within, which I'm assuming is the movie John saw, came out 2 years before this, with a budget of $135 million. No,
I'm going to guess Urda did not have $135 million.
I'm betting you're right. Yeah, so that is the thing. But yeah, it's one of those things where you're not going into it expecting. I'm hoping because that's not what you're getting out of this at all.
Yeah, I mean,
I heard of this thing called Urda. It's going to be the best thing ever. Let's have a watch party.
Other than having seen that in that panel at Triad years ago, that said, here's Diary of Anne Frank, here's Barefoot Gen, here's Urda, and I'm like, I have never heard anybody talk about this show. I have absolutely no information on it. And I was surprised as heck that we even found it.
Yeah. That was not easy.
Yeah. And I, not to be mean, but it's not surprising.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
This was a Media Blasters release, I believe, by the way. In case folks are wondering. I don't know how the we did not check the Japanese dub, so I have no idea what the sort of experience was. And that was just, hey, you on the street? Yeah, I have a thing. Hey, come here. Here's 500 yen. I don't know. But
yeah. Actually, that would be really interesting to watch in Japanese to see how do they emote when they're doing this, or is it just like flat presentation?
Well, I don't know how I would judge that because Japanese acting is often very low emotion, so they might want to go for that for this. I have no idea.
Yeah,
it's weird. I will say I think the storyline is well scaled to the time frame. It's not too overambitious for that. It's very much a kind of an action adventure story. And I'm glad to say, there's a twist at the end, and for me at least, it does work.
Right.
It hit me when it first happened, and when I watched it this time around, I was like, oh yeah, that still has some impact there, which I did appreciate. I think there is, they set it up, it happens, you're like, oh, got it, okay, cool,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not one of those things where it's like somehow, some way, like 3/4 of the way, everyone just gave up on plot and just, they this does have a beginning, middle, and end, and it ties together, and it's not, yeah, you're absolutely right. It fits.
Yeah, not the most amazing story in the world, but
right.
Okay.
But I like the way they did the machines. I liked the way that the warp gate thing worked out in the end. It's like I thought that was really well done. It didn't explain why the planes didn't fall into it when things. But never mind. Just run right by that one.
Mm-hmm.
So there were definitely things to like in this. There was definitely some efforts that were more enjoyable than others.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I think the best character was Janet screaming Yahoo over
Yahoo!
Yahoo! Can you imagine them trying to direct this and it's the same Yahoo, and they're just like, okay, yes, thank you.
Yeah.
We'll go with that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But you know what? So you know what the thing about Urda that is very surprising now? It's not the worst one that we've ever seen.
Certainly not. No.
Oh, and it won't be the worst one we ever see, going forward either. So
yeah.
Certainly not. And what we were talking about X-Arms earlier, and that was interesting because that's a good example of where like 10 minutes into the first episode of X-Arms, I was like, I do not want to be watching this.
Right.
I want to be doing other things with my life at this point.
It's like, take my
exactly
out.
Give me back my 10 minutes.
Yes. But I didn't feel that with Urda. Urda was like, okay, this is, low quality, but reasonably entertaining.
Right.
It is funny how that is kind of, because you can definitely draw comparisons, animation-wise and artistic-wise between this and X-Arms. But
excuse me.
Any other thoughts on Urda the Third Reich? It's half an hour long, so there's not much, in here.
Yeah.
Music?
You will. Music? What? Oh, yes. There was music.
I honestly don't remember any of the music. Just watching this and being like, I'm just okay.
Well, you know what it was is for me, it was when we were watching this, listening to the score, which I think was probably they went to because I've done this before, where you just go, I just need something that is royalty free.
Mm-hmm.
Here's your cue up generic dramatic music, whatever, which is fine actually, because that's what it's supposed to do. But it just seemed like there were points where it was just like, the characters are talking, the actions is going on, and then the music cues in, and it's just like, okay, we have to get to the it's just like whoa,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
A little bit of editing here.
Yeah, it's very much kind of generic synth.
Yeah.
Kind of music. Where it's like, okay, music is happening. Whatever. It's fine.
See what's the public domain music we've got available here? Let's plug that in.
Yeah.
Sweet.
There's a Mystery Science Theater riff. going through the credits and demo button on Casio keyboard pressed by.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Oh, that's perfect. Let's work with that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend this if anybody was like, should I see it? I don't think you should avoid it necessarily. I mean, it's a half an hour, so it's not a super huge drain, and you're not going to regret it.
Right.
And it's interesting enough to see how early 2000s CGI and how someone's concept of how to put this story together. It's informative. It's not good necessarily, but depending on what you consider
They
good.
tried.
Yeah.
They tried.
Right.
The effort was put in.
Right.
They tried. The effort was put in.
You can see the seeds of how things will move forward into much better CGI, much better voice acting, and much better music, all that stuff.
Yeah.
It's very nice.
This is definitely the anime you watch if you want to have a drinking game. If you're in between something, this is definitely something that is kind of like as you pointed out, Brett, this is a 3 a.m. anime. This is something at the middle of the night you want to go to bed, but you want to watch one last thing before you go. There you go.
Yeah, I think if you're into CGI and like the history and development of CGI, very much to your point.
Gentlemen, I'll be back.
Yeah.
The rainstorm is hitting Baltimore. It's actually hitting me.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Then, yeah,
I'll be right back.
And Steve's electronics, not as good. Not as good thing happening here. But yeah, I think certainly, as you're saying, Brent, if you're into CGI and you want to see how CGI has developed and how CGI has, come to where we are today with things like Pixar, it's probably not a bad thing to check into. Just take a look.
Yeah.
So
everyone else, yeah. I guess if you're into over the top evil Nazi stories, I guess that might interest you too. But other than that,
well, again, the detail on the mechanical elements.
Oh, yeah.
So the Kubelwagens, the Kettenkrad, the aircraft, that the Solo guy had a really good eye for getting those things right. Their, proportions are correct. Obviously, like I said, the fantasy part about how fast they go, a little off. But it's just an interesting collection of someone's obvious attention to detail. So that's cool. Yeah. That's very cool.
Absolutely. Romanov Higa. I'm probably mispronouncing.
Yeah, sorry about that. My Anna's arms. She's only 5 feet tall, so her arms go so far.
Gotcha.
So I had to put up all the windows before we drowned.
Fair enough.
On the 9th story.
Or get electrocuted. One way or
the other. So that's definitely a good point. For what it's worth, Romanoff did go on to work on other productions. So he did a Masamune Shiro CGI work a couple of years later, and he's done a few other things since. So it does seem like he has moved into a professional career in this, which is good for you.
I wonder if that's a professional name, not his real name, because Romanov Higa seems like a very unique name.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do not know. I am actually going to know on IMDb. That might give us some more information. But of course, being IMDb, it has decided to load some resource in the background and lock on that, so it's not actually loading the page. So, gotta love it. Let me see if I can hit that again, see if we will luck out. But anyway, so good on you, I guess, for for moving along with things. But yeah, so that's Urda the Third Reich. If you already own a copy, cool.
You supported anime.
Yep, exactly. Otherwise, probably not.
Or you're helping someone going, how do I get rid of this? Please, God, someone take this off my hands.
Yes, exactly.
Hey, in 10,000 years, it'll be really valuable.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Yeah. This is all the CGI that will remain after the apocalypse.
Oh, God.
Look how primitive their CGI was. No. Don't judge us based on that. Exactly.
Going to IMDb, which does not list. There is a Romanov Higa, who is a storyboard artist and scenario movie graphics artist for a bunch of the Pokemon video games, as well as the Dragon's Dogma TV series. So I hopefully he's found a stable income from that. Who knows? All right, that will do it. That is it for that. So we'll be right back with some more recent anime. See you in just a few minutes. John. And we're going to just take a few moments to talk about how we've been a little bit before we get into some anime news. Folks in the chat, please let us know what you've been watching lately. Any questions you have for the three of us. John, how about you? What anime have you been watching lately?
Oh, I've been adoring Spy Family. Oh, jeez, it's just so cute. I'm so glad that you had told us about the manga, and I'm so glad that the anime has turned out to be as good as I hope. Aran-san is still, I'm still getting a chuckle out of it.
Okay.
It's just really, it's a kind of a cute show. I'm happy about it. That's where the girl who's kind of like Comey, except she's like this little tiny blue-haired girl and she can't speak very much.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and the guy is like trying to help her out. So it's like that's very cute. It certainly does have the Comey vibe. It's not. I can't really compare them exactly. I mean, because I like them both for what they are, not because they're like each other. You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
yeah.
And then the one that Steve, we're talking about, Diamond, the one where it's the traditional Japanese sweet shop. That is just, oh my goodness. And then I've gotten back. Science fell in love, so I tried to prove it. Their second season has launched, so I gave it a little bit of time. So I only gotten into season 2, episode 1, but now I've got a little bit of cushion. So I've got like 4 or 5 episodes I can stack up and watch during the week. Oh, geez, and I'm just keeping up with everything else. Miss Shachiku and the little baby ghost. Oh, so cute, so cute. The baby ghosts are awesome. So far, that's good. I'm surprised at Genshin's throttle hold on my brain, because we've got some delay in the next piece. I don't have as many things to do, so it allows me to actually put it aside and actually get to this backlog of anime. So, yay!
Awesome. Nice.
How about y'all?
Steve, how about you?
Well, for a change, life was slowed down and forced slow down. This week I have COVID, so I got to not work for the past 5 days, and so you have a lot of time on your hands.
Yeah.
So when I wasn't, because I'm in terms of the Genshin levels, Brent and John are like far ahead of me. So I'm still trying to catch up. So I've just been like crushing it every day as I'm going through COVID. But then I'm like, oh, I have all this other time as well to watch more anime. That's exactly what I did this week. So I got to watch. So I am all caught up on Comey.
Nice.
I thought there was, for some reason I don't know why, I thought there was going to be an actual season 2, but it's actually continuation of season 1. So I fell behind on that. Bless you. And so I was able. I just it's like, okay, I got about 4 episodes to watch, and I'll just watch 1 or 2 and then go on to the next thing. No, just burned right through it, because it's currently one of my favorite animes at the moment. I mean, how can you? I mean, when the figurines come out, I'm actually going to buy it, and I don't own figurines, so that kind of gives you an idea how much I like it.
Good. Welcome to the dark side.
So, I know, right? And pretty soon it's going to be like my entire room. Where do you sleep? In the HVAC unit. So
look at all my Dakimakuras.
Right. And so I got to watch other things. I also burned through and then caught up on Diamond. I'm not sure how you say it. Which I have decided that for me, I'm constantly revising my personal best list of anime, and it's in the top 3. I think it's probably one of the best, well-crafted anime out there. The story is just solid. It hits all the right notes. It's funny where it needs to be. It's sad where it needs to be. And there's also, there's nothing. It's a fantastical show, but there's nothing fantastical about it, if that makes sense. They don't rely a lot on visual gimmick imagery to get the point across. So you actually have a grown-up tale about this little girl. So I'm at the point now where it's just like, is that the father? So that's where we're at, and it's just it's an enjoyable show because it's also like Comey is bringing me back more and more. I did watch a couple more episodes of Aaron Son, and I have the same feeling about that and Comey, where they're like in the same genre, but they're not the same thing.
Yeah,
it's two totally different things. And Aaron Son is kind of like the more Lucky Star-ish version of Conan.
Okay.
If you want to think of it that way.
Yeah.
And it's same points, but it's just a different methodology, which is just as funny. I think they bring in. I'm on the episode where I haven't gotten that far into anime, but I'm on the episode where her old friend, who is like taller than the guy, who keeps tabs on her, and it's just anyway, it's kind of fun. And then I started watching some other stuff that kind of got in there. What did I watch? I watched Goku Midnight Eye. Yeah, that's right. Goku Midnight Eye.
Okay.
1980s, 89 maybe or something. And it's like the best, the character design for the main character Goku is a great blend of gigolo and male stripper, because he has this this stylish black suit jacket and pants and boots and just a tie, no shirt, right? And he's a private eye in the far off future of 2014, and there's on the cover when you watch it or when you look at it, you see him standing there, and there's this woman on all fours with pink hair, and she's actually in it for all of 90 seconds, and she's actually a stripper with motorcycle handlebars on her shoulders, and her thing is that she moves around like a motorcycle.
Classy.
Well, one of the best anime ever made. So then I got so many levels. Yeah. And then I got to watching one that came out in '86, and it was on Manga TV. So if you have Roku, it's a free Roku channel called Manga TV. Ooh. And it's called Outlanders. It's about 50 minutes long, and it's based on a video game that Brent was kind enough to tell me about. And I said, I saw this thing called Outlanders. Oh yeah, here's the thing, and that was quite. It was actually, it's very 1986, but it's very, very enjoyable. And if you get a chance, you really should go watch it. I will say that you have to be. Well, you don't have to be, but it's probably better if you're 18 plus to watch this. So that it's kind of hitting that.
For language and adult situations.
Yes, very very adult situations happening amongst the decapitations and the removal of arms. But the female character, Calm, which is I think her name is, and you will see that character. You will be familiar with that character design in cosplay, I think, because I actually found a lot of pictures of her. Some flattering and not so flattering pictures of cosplay of this particular character. And then I got caught up on the anime that I need to watch that Brent recommended to me so that we can do our panel for OnCon. And I'm not going to say too much about it. I'm just going to say that it was, let's see here. It was very, very eye-opening, and one of them was quite brilliant. Okay. Quite brilliant. William Edgar D. It tricked me. Okay. Right. It tricked me. So yes. Long story short, or long story told long. I got to watch anime this week. Thank you, COVID.
Hey,
I guess.
Silver lining.
I guess.
Exactly.
COVID's good for something.
Exactly. That's awesome. I have not watched any anime this week. It's just a quiet week for me. I think after HomeCon last weekend, we watched a bunch of stuff then. Maybe I was a little full up on anime for a while, but just y'all hear that? And welcome back. And welcome to This Week in Anime History. Wow. No, that's not where we are. This. Hi.
How you doing, Brett?
How are you feeling, bud?
Everything okay?
Hey.
You changed the background and everything's gone.
Yeah. Gosh. Okay. Yeah. Gone. Just brain's gone. Just not. Just okay. It's time for the anime news for the week of May 22nd, 2022. That'll do. It's fine. It's all fine down here. How are you?
Well, okay.
So, creating an anime, not an easy task, as 3 Japanese comedians are about to find out. What could go wrong? Fuji TV has announced an upcoming variety show titled Entertainer Anime Director that will center on comedians becoming anime directors to create their own anime shorts.
Oh.
Oh dear.
Each comedian will play.
Will there
short.
be anime?
Well, I mean, there'll be something.
Yeah. There'll be a work product at the end, no doubt.
Each comedian
Urda, part 2.
Yeah. Each comedian will plan their short, design the characters, check the storyboards, decide the cast, and attend recording sessions. The actual animation itself, of course, will be held by pros, with Toei Animation and Orange both working on the project. Short previews have already been posted on Toei's YouTube channel for those who'd like to check them out. I don't know. I'm hopeful. Like this seems like it'll it can make some fun stuff, right? Like
Well, I mean, if they're comedians, they already have a means of managing their own stage presence and like what they need to do their thing. So, it'll just be interesting when it comes into like, how are they going to decide the cast and what kind of skills are they bringing to like checking storyboards? Just a continuity kind of thing, or are they going to have somebody alongside to be like, well, you see, this has to be like that because of this particular reason, that to guide them, or they're just going to like fire them off and be like, they don't really know. Let's sit back and watch. Like, I could see the humor in that. I really could.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And it is a variety show. It's not just a segment. Like it's a whole thing. It's basically a reality TV show. So it could go a lot of different ways, I guess.
Yeah, yes, it could.
Yeah. Iron Animators. I like that. That'd be better area.
Yeah.
A good crossover of favorite media properties is always fun, especially when it draws from works like those of legendary director Hideaki Anno. The Shin Japan Heroes Universe collaboration project combines, get this, Shin Godzilla, Shin Ultraman, Shin Kamen Rider, and Evangelion 3.0 1.0. Which, in fairness, has Shin in its Japanese title because it's Shin Kekkoban, whatever. As of this week, the project is planning to really bring fans into its world with the upcoming Shin Japan Heroes Amusement World mini theme park space, which will open in 3 Bandai Namco stores for a limited time and provide interactive attractions and games. There is an Operation Shin 765 attraction, which imagines a scenario where Godzilla, Angels from Evangelion, a kaiju from Ultraman, and the evil organization Shocker from Kamen Rider all attack at once.
This is the glorious dream of somebody who writes fan
Yes, yes.
Exactly.
Visitors
It's too insane to believe.
Visitors are put in the role of a presumably extremely stressed agent of the global unknown event keepers, who must complete various missions to proceed through this scenario. Other attractions will include like a puzzle game, VR experiences, so forth and so on. Like, I want to be a fly on the boardroom wall when whoever was proposing this. The Shin Cinematic Universe, apparently.
Yeah. Okay, everybody, stay in your seats. I have an idea. Don't be drinking anything or eating anything when I say this.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Probably everyone was sitting in their chairs and they heard the idea and they just like they felt like their brain being pushed to the back of their skull and they're just like, I think I have to say yes. We gotta make this hurt. Stop.
I have one word for all of you: synergy.
There's no way this could possibly go wrong. Okay. Here we go.
It'll be interesting.
Undoubtedly.
Well, here's the thing. Here's why I'm smiling at this. You know, you hear all these things, and then they announce an attraction where it's like, yeah, no, we're throwing all of them together in the same universe, all in the same thing. I'm like, yes, that's what we all want to see. Like, you know us. You got that right. So, it's hoping.
I'm hoping when this mini amusement park opens that nobody violates any kind of like anti-filming rules or restrictions, but that there's like a film through of like how this experience goes, because I would love to see.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like people walk in, they walk out, their hair's all spiked out, eyes bugged out. They're just going, I don't know, but thank you.
It was everything I could never have asked for.
Exactly.
Oh, cool.
Now, okay. Shonen. Let's talk shonen anime for a second.
Right?
Shonen anime can be very motivational, right? People love getting behind shonen anime. Great motivation for getting in shape. There are definitely people out there who are like, I'm watching Dragon Ball, I saw all these, fighters, and it really got me pumped up. What better franchise to bring that motivation to the real world than One Piece? Announced this week, a place for fans to get ripped while they're leaving the comfort of their anime world, a One Piece-inspired fitness gym. The One Piece Fitness Brag Men facility is granted named for an adventure tale that appears in the 13th volume of the manga, but is set to open in Shibuya next year. The training room will, of course, have One Piece theming, complete with trainers dressed up as naval officers. I
just have images of otaku running on treadmills, screaming, flying off like "Senpai!"
Meanwhile, while Admiral Nelson is like walking around.
There'll also be a pirate school for any like elementary school age children who show up to take part in the thing.
See, I can see that.
Yeah,
I can see. That's fun.
Yeah,
but a gym, I mean, like, you want to be like Luffy. You want to be like Luffy. No, actually, I don't.
If any, the gum fruit. I mean, that's the only way I see how to train like this. I agree with you, Steve. I could see this really being like a good kids thing where it's like promoting the idea of like get out and get healthy and make sure that you're getting your cardio and keeping aware of things. Right. Versus most of the adults. Wow, yeah, this is going to be a really interesting like when they open the door. What's that going to look like inside?
Does anyone else remember Mouser Size?
Oh God, yes.
Oh, wow.
There's precedent.
Oh,
yeah.
No, you just accessed the corner of my brain that went dark a long time ago. Oh, Jesus.
Oh, that's around the same time as you got like Donald Duck with Disco Duck.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Oh, dear goodness.
Oh, God, it's in my head.
Disco Duck. Oh, my.
Uh-huh.
The dark, evil history of the past.
Okay, so let's come back to crossovers. Okay, had our fun. Car racing, very exciting, high energy, great. The increase of racing fans camping out at Fuji Speedway during the Fuji SuperTech 24-hour race has led to a collaboration.
I was scared.
Yep.
I'm always scared.
The new collaboration between the Speedway and Laid Back Camp
Oh,
will feature a number of crossover goods, including some very cute safety signs.
tailgating.
Tailgating, yes, exactly. Tailgating.
Tailgating. We're gonna do it. Oh, here's a cute anime about tailgating. Here's some Budweiser brought Ross, get drunk, throw up in the back, and go and wander around the the raceway.
Rin trades in her scooter for like a stock car.
Nadeshko just wanders out onto the track.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
God. No.
The serene camping joy of being in the middle of a Formula One racetrack. Awesome.
Oh my God. And the girls go around the corner to find a guy leaning up against the wall going, what? Okay, guy, have a little privacy here? Come on. Go.
Exactly.
Wow. Okay.
There'll be some safety signs you can place in your own car, and photo spots on the track, cars with decals from the anime. So we will actually have Laid Back Itasha on the raceway, which I can't wait to see.
Yeah. Interesting. Oh boy.
I mean, there is, now you put it that way, there is a kind of fun aspect to this, but still, I mean, the first image is just like, look, I went to the HF festivals. Those were just horrible urine soaked bits. I mean, that was just.
No one has seen Laid Back Camp end up like that.
Exactly.
But I mean, we've already seen Musume Derby girl as Top Gun.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
So
Anything's
crossovers a go. Here we are.
Absolutely.
Wow.
And I completely agree, John and chat. What I want is a bunch of is a scooter race on the track. Everyone gets out their scooters.
Oh, how lovely.
I would so do it.
Yeah, I know.
I would so do it.
Can we get a crossover with Super Cub too? Because I'd love to see a Honda Super Cub there.
Nice.
Okay.
Absolutely. We're not done yet with crossovers.
Oh, jeez.
Oh boy.
Another delivery food anime collab has been announced in Japan. This one from Pizza Hut, celebrating the release of the quintessential quintuplets movie. Okay. The boxes of the My Box, right past that, single meal packs will feature a new illustration of the girls in Pizza Hut uniforms, of course, and include a personal pizza and a few side options. Only the personal pizza boxes are listed for the collab thus far, so it seems Pizza Hut assumes that whoever's ordering a pizza is not sharing it, which, I mean, fair. So get ready for the social media posts of folks who have like 10, boxes stacked, because of course they went and did that.
Right.
But why not?
So I'm just going to assume that the personal pizza, so that every time you get a pizza, you get that specific girl's box.
No,
there's
just one illustration. If you order their box, you will get a single a personal pizza.
So if you get all of their boxes, you get all the characters.
No, you just get one box to eat. Yeah, sorry guys.
It's like being a 14-year-old kid again.
True. So there's just one box you can buy, which has the illustration on it, and then you order that, and then you have that.
You have your illustrated box.
You just have a really good night.
Yeah. Oh God, I'm so glad I wasn't drinking anything.
don't have to worry about the rain getting on the computer, Steve, when you just spit out your drink on the computer.
Oh my
So
God.
I know there was the Code Geass Pizza Hut collab. I don't know if Pizza Hut has done a lot of these anime collabs, but it's certainly a couple. So I don't know if this is kind of a general thing or not, but or what's going on there, but it's fine.
I find it very interesting. Like Pizza Hut seems to be very robust everywhere, but like here.
Yeah.
Because our Pizza Hut that was like less than half a mile away from me went like gone.
Yeah,
not like
there are
remodeled. They're shrinking and disappearing.
Yeah. They're the only Pizza Hut structure that I know of, and it's gone. It's just the building is there. It's off of Route 40 up here. That's like 20 minutes away. But yeah, it's gone. There's no Pizza Hut. Actually, no, I take that back. There's one Pizza Hut in Montgomery County there.
Yeah, it's like they shrunk back the business, and yet here's Pizza Hut apparently in Japan is doing doing fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
Good on them.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, moving on. Previous news items have proven that Japan can turn just about any manga into a musical. And this week's news announcement is no exception. A stage play musical is coming this summer based on Osamu Tezuka's revenge suspense manga Alabaster, which I had never heard of before. But it's very Tezuka. The story stars a famous athlete turned infamous villain, James Block, who seeks revenge against all things beautiful because he meets a mad scientist in prison who created the F-laser that turns any living organism invisible. But when James is released, he tries the laser on himself, but only makes his skin invisible. So he takes the new alias of Alabaster and sets out on a vicious revenge spree, along with the mad scientist's granddaughter, who's turned fully invisible with the beam.
Huh.
Yeah.
And this is a stage play musical.
Yep. Uh-huh.
You
I can't think of anything.
can see my colon.
This is a 1970 manga. I think Kickstarter funded a North American localization in 2015. So it is available if you want to check that out.
Wow.
I don't know how you... I mean, at least they will cut down on the number of cast. Because the granddaughter, that's easy.
Yeah. Just had the voice from off stage.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah. But fine. We do have some anime announcements. Yay! Love anime announcements. Adult Swim announced 2 upcoming anime series this week. Rick and Morty, the anime.
Yeah, I saw that. Jeez.
And original work, Ninja Kamui. Director of Tower of God is going to direct the Rick and Morty anime, which will be an original story featuring adapted themes and events from the main animated series. I'm not sure if Dan Harmon or anyone's going to be involved in that. Ninja Kamui features action adventure, direction by Sung-Hoo Park of Jujutsu Kaisen.
Wow.
Character designs by Takeshi Okazaki, who also designed characters for Afro Samurai and Star Wars Visions.
Wow. Okay.
Anime follows a former ninja, Joe, who is forced back into the shadow world after an attack on his family as he puts his ancient skills against 21st century high-tech weaponry.
Dun, dun, dun.
Very Adult Swim, though.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I'll be very curious to see the one from the Tower of God director.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Tower of God was a interesting show.
Yeah.
Visually and just story-wise.
Yeah.
And is that the one? Was that the one with that was like Death Note-ish?
No.
No. What am I?
This one is literally like you start off at the base of some unknown tower because you don't really see outside of the tower, and you have to challenge your way up the tower.
Okay.
And there's intrigue and backbiting and betrayal, and it's a visually very interesting style. The pacing, even though you're having fights, they're fighting each other to do things. The pacing was a little weird because it didn't really seem to be. It didn't seem to have any sort of like gravity. What's going on? Like we have to do the thing. It's like no, we're heading towards a goal. We're just kind of getting there. step by step. We're just getting there, and then there's not been any more of it, and it's been at least a couple, 3 years.
Yeah, it's been a little while. And I know that was based on a really popular, I think, web manga, or web comic of some sort. So who knows how much of that was trying to adapt that closely, or if that was kind of the director's preference. I don't know.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything else about it since. So
yeah, that was. I mean, we were that was big when it came out. It seemed to just kind of vanish. Like a month later, no one was talking about it.
Well, it's interesting that Adult Swim has this going on because Crunchyroll, for reasons I don't understand, had like a sale. It was the pre-Memorial Day sale, so they sent a little email. In there is a Tower of God T-shirt.
Oh, interesting.
And I'm like, huh? Like, that's really like that would be like putting a Ranma 1/2. You know what I mean? Where it's like, boy, that's really bringing something out that is a little older, and I don't think people are in their consciousness at this moment. And it's like, that's really interesting that you got that in there. I'm like, okay.
Wasn't that a Crunchyroll like original thing?
Yes. Okay. Tower of God was, and God of High School. They were both Crunchy originals. But it's like, at the time, they had those T-shirts. Yeah. And then once that series was done, it was all gone. So unless this was like, hey, look, we found a box in the back of the warehouse.
Yeah. Like, well, it's also possible that they ordered a lot of shirts.
That
sold some of them, but yeah.
Who
knows? Let's see here. The Token Ranbu Sword Boy franchise is expanding again. This time with a spin-off of a spin-off. An anime has been announced based on the franchise's first non-musical stage play, which debuted in 2016. Play's director and player will return to oversee it, which will follow. Oh, we already talked about this. It'll follow the Oda Nobunaga's sword. That one. Yeah, that's the thing. Square Enix announced this week that the maid I hired recently is Mysterious. The manga is inspiring a TV anime. This is by Wakami Konbu, who did The Great Jahi Will Not Be Defeated. And much of the staff of that is coming back for the anime, including director and music composers. So that's cool.
Which I liked Jahe. It was a cute show. It didn't get a lot of particular attention, the anime wise, but I think it was a sort of like Gabriel Dropout kind of thing, where it's like it was an enjoyable show. It wasn't a wow kind of show, but it was like very solid in the animation, very solid in the acting. Very, it's like, okay, so I'm excited to see this. I want to see how this one. Definitely. Can it be Noelle? Can Noelle be the maid?
Hey, that's a good way.
Our Genshin anime.
Is she secretly an assassin? That's my question.
Ooh.
Now, earlier, Steve was mentioning Goku Midnight Eye, which put me in mind of 80s sort of special agent manga. A second spin-off manga has been announced for the long-running Go-Go 13 manga.
Ooh.
Kind of a similar kind of a thing, to debut in Becoming Zokan's July 15th issue. The announcement featured a silhouette of the new main character, teased as a girl who is popular and well-known among the fans of the original manga.
Agent Aika.
That, but that's cool. A couple more announcements came out this week regarding Makoto Shinkai's upcoming new film, Suzume no Tojimari. Yeah. Which will be released on the 11th in Japan. Crunchyroll, Sony Pictures, and Wild Bunch announced this week that they will release the film worldwide except in Asia early next year. The film's official website also announced it will have a novelization penned by Shinkai himself, as many of his previous films have.
Oh, wow.
And the novel will ship August 24th. So if you want a hint of what's coming up for that, you can get that. This week also brings good news for U.S. Macross fans. We don't get a lot of news. That's cool. Fathom Events will be screening 2 Macross Frontier films in the U.S. in June. Macross Frontier, The False Songstress, which is an alternative retelling of the Macross Frontier TV anime, will screen June 16th. And the sequel film, The Wings of Farewell, will screen on June 30th, both in Japanese with English subtitles. So, Macross fans, take note.
June 16, June 30.
Yeah, I'm looking at my
kidding
calendar.
me? Thursdays? Oh, you.
Yeah. Yeah. Trying to get folks in in, those quieter days.
Yeah, but this also happens to be the days I can't get there.
You don't have to go to work.
Yeah, I can just not work. I'm going to be gone for the next couple of weeks on Thursdays.
There we go.
Just
Yeah,
hold the fort down.
Yeah. I'm gonna be sick in a month.
In a month.
Dead.
And 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
I'm dead.
Two new anime-based video games were revealed this week. Along with the reveal of its third season, the Fire Force franchise announced an original smartphone game, Fire Force Flame Dance.
Is it a rhythm dance game?
Probably. It'll be free to play with optional transactions. Of course. Video game is also in the works for the Prince of Tennis 2 franchise. This one for the Switch. It's described as a documentary adventure game. Prince of Tennis 2 Let's Go Daily Life from Rising Beat. That is the actual title. Comes out this fall. We'll tell a brand new original story featuring fully voiced dialogue from 62 different characters in the Prince of Tennis universe.
Oh.
Yeah. Which is random. I mean, by RPG standards, it's nothing, right? But by most game standards, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
And finally, speaking of video games, more info about several upcoming Gundam games is on the way next week in the form of the special Gundam Game Fest live stream, taking place May 26th, 3 p.m. Pacific time, which will bring exclusive news about SD Gundam Battle Alliance, Gundam Evolution, and the Mobile Suit Gundam Battle Operation 2 games. So, video gamers, take note. If you're interested in those, more news on those coming in a couple of days.
Excuse me.
Nice.
Yeah. That's all the news for this week. Thanks for watching. See you all next week.
I'll pick the word for Pizza Hut.
Yeah. If you can find them.
Now I have the problem. Okay, I guess I'll just have to do it this way. Okay.
Ah. Back at the cafe and out of the newsroom.
Exactly. Yes. John in chat, what do you think of Shin Godzilla? He saw Shin Godzilla on a Thursday.
Oh, nice.
Like not this, but on a Thursday. But yeah, I think when I watched Weatherman with you, I think it was like Sunday. I forget. Loved it. Nice. Yeah, I love that film. It was a very impressive rethink of the Godzilla franchise. Speaking of, there's some anime history this week.
Ooh.
Welcome to This Week in Anime History, where we talk about things that happened this week in anime history. And May 22nd, 1960 is the birthday of Hideaki Anno.
Dun, dun, dun.
That's right. Today is that birthday. Anno, undoubtedly best known as the director of Neon Genesis Evangelion. Sorry.
Evangelion?
Evangelion, yes, exactly. But also remarkable for the fact that he was making animation like back in college. He went to an art college and produced some really impressive short films while he was there, and that kind of got his initial attention. And then from there, started working in the anime industry on Starship Troopers, the Starship Troopers OVA, and Nausicaa the Valley of Wind as an animator. And then from there moved on to working on a variety of stuff at Gainax, and then made, as we mentioned, Evangelion, a happy-go-lucky sitcom. If you haven't seen it, if you
Full
like,
of warm, loving family moments.
if you like laid back camp, very much in that mode.
Fathers, if you're familiar with the show Fathers, the Father Knows Best.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, very much. Yes.
Heartwarming.
Yes,
Heartwarming
indeed.
kids.
My Three Sons, very much in that
Yeah.
mode.
Gilligan's Island, yes, got it.
Now we need to map all the characters of Evangelion to all the characters in Gilligan's Island. Shin is definitely Gilligan.
Yeah.
I was gonna say. Asuka is
Ginger.
No, the captain.
the skipper.
Skipper.
Yeah.
Definitely. Idiot.
Who's the? Yeah.
Is Gendo the professor? No. Blonde woman. That's the professor. Definitely. Ritsuko.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the professor. Gosh.
Who would be Mr. and Mrs. Howell?
That's a great question.
I
want to say Gendo and his assistant guy.
No. Kenji and Masato.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Okay.
Yeah. Lovey. There we go.
Lovey.
Marianne's Ray. True. It's just that fits.
Who's Ginger?
Who is Ginger? I mean, Ginger is kind of Asuka.
Yeah.
I mean, physically.
Mari Illustrious.
Oh, great call. Yes. There we go.
Mm-hmm. Because
nailed it.
They are built about the same.
Nailed it. Yeah. Okay. Somebody make that AMV, please.
God.
Oh,
call the guy that made Urda and then. Oh, jeez. Oh. The mighty earth was tossed. God. Not for the courage of the fearless crew. Humanity would be lost.
Humanity would be lost. Oh, dear. Get back in the boat, Shinji.
Yeah. Yes.
Theme song composed by for Gilligan's Island. Theme song composed by
Yoko Kanno.
Johnny Williams.
Oh. Ooh. Oh, you're talking about the actual show.
Yes.
No, we're getting Yoko Kanno. I wouldn't have it any other way.
Exactly. Yes. No. Absolutely. That was a long way to go on this particular segment. So yes, Hideaki Anno, legendary director. Well done, sir. Now moving on to direct Ultraman and Shin Godzilla and stuff. So good for you, making all of your fan dreams come true. Good for you.
Champagne wishes and caviar dreams.
Exactly. Well, I have a question.
What did we learn on the show tonight,
And show tonight.
I learned anything can be crossed over.
Yes.
Yeah.
You name it. That should be we should play a game every week where we bring we each propose a crossover, and then we we debate on which one's the best or worst one. I don't know which would be funnier.
Oh boy.
Heaven's Lost Property and Victoria's Secret. I mean, it's too obvious, but whatever.
K-On! And America's Top Idol. Well,
I can see it. I mean, America's Got Talent in K-On!
Yeah. Moving on.
Exactly.
It's not 10 o'clock yet for me.
Yeah, exactly. I learned I could buy the quintessential quintuplets box, which is good to know. That is a thing that can be done.
If you're a big fan of those girls, you can buy that box and then take it home.
Yeah, you buy it, take it home, eat it up. And MacLeod's coming back to America in theaters. That's legitimately exciting.
Yes.
Getting that back, especially considering those films did not come out yesterday. They've been around a little bit.
Yeah.
So seeing getting a second chance to see those films is an awesome thing. So glad to see it. John, how about you?
I've learned that you can make a mini amusement ride and then cram all kinds of things into the experience to blow people's minds. All the Shin properties in one place. It's the bargain shopping experience of a lifetime. I've learned that sometimes we have some really good, humorous, newsworthy things to talk about that need another 45 minutes for us to really absolutely let loose with. And that's all I'm going to say on that. And yes, the continuing chug forward of anime and Anno moving into the Godzilla stuff. Okay, this is cool. Some cool stuff on the way.
Definitely.
Steve,
I have learned that I'm going to have to make time on Thursday nights on two times during June to actually, because I make it a point to try to watch anime on the big screen when it appears, and the stars align and I can do it. And I would like to do that with this because I've never seen them across thing on a big screen. So it's something that I would very much like to experience. I know it's new stuff, and that's actually fine.
Sure,
That's actually great. Or newer stuff. But looking for that. Look forward to that. I've learned that it's nice to have time to watch anime. Where you're not having to worry about. Even though it took COVID for me to get that time, but it's nice to be able to sit there and just go and be choosy, and go. No, this is what I'm going to watch tonight. This is the thing, and then decide I'm just going to burn through the rest of it and just take on the experience, enjoy it. I've learned that if you have a modicum of ability, and you want to make a project for yourself and just say, hey, look at the thing that I made. And while it may not be the best thing on the face of the earth, the fact that you were willing to put that out there and to make it and just say, this is my little pride and joy. This is my little labor of love. I think that's kind of, even if people don't really like it, or if it's just not as well done as it could have been, it's kind of nice to have that ability to make that thing. Making things is always a good, even if the end product is not great, the exercise itself is always interesting and new and thought provoking. And the last thing that I learned tonight is that if I want to, that Pizza Hut is willing to offer to me an attractive ladies box for me to eat from, and that would be that would be awesome if we could have that here in America. And as a segue into that, I have it's been a long time since that had brought the 14-year-old out of me in such a long time. I could not. Thank you for that. I could not. It was so hard not to just disconnect and just go, I can't.
He's rolling around on the floor.
Yeah, it's just I'm just oh my God. So thank you, Brian.
You're welcome.
Actually, it's not so much of what I've learned as a thank you for indulging and letting me to indulge in my freaking immaturity. All right. That's what I've learned.
And I just discovered, speaking of macross in movie theaters, apparently Fathom has a standard of doing animation on Thursday nights, animated movies on Thursday nights, because June 2nd is Fortune Favors Lady Nikuko, a sort of comedy drama directed by the director of Communicate. And then they're doing the first Macross Frontier movie, and then they're doing G.I. Joe the movie.
Oh.
The 1980s G.I.
Oh.
Joe the movie. Yes!
Damn!
Yes! Uh-huh. And then the other Macross movie. I'm like, I may have a lot of Thursday nights blocked off in June. That's pretty amazing.
All I need to do is just make a Friday, Saturday, Sunday matinee kind of thing. Because that's how I saw Mugen Train. That's how I saw Belle. It's it was just at that time, like a Saturday afternoon, Sunday afternoon, I could get to see that. Thursdays are just, and I think the last Fathom event was that I really, really wanted to go see was Earwig the Witch.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And it was 7:30 on a Thursday, and I'm like, I can't make that. I can't get there. I was like, so I want them to rearrange the world to suit me.
Exactly.
I think I deserve it.
Definitely. Well, thank you all for joining us. Next week, we'll be watching and reviewing Interstellar 5555, the story of the Secret Star System, the Daft Punk hour-long music video thing, which is, boy, it's
fun.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And OnCon is coming up June 11th, so pretty soon, just a couple of weeks from now, we will be having panels from a lot of folks in this room, like physically, and folks through the magic of the internet. Hope you will join us for that, talking about all sorts of stuff, subs versus dubs, travel in Japan, all sorts of cool stuff. So hope to see you then. Thank you all. Hope you guys have a great week, and until next time, watch more anime.
Oyasumi nasai.